Hello and welcome back to my channel, Boozy Bookish Thoughts. I'm Justine, or Jay if you prefer, and welcome to my new video. So today we are doing our Valentine's Day wine and book night. So it is the Friday after Valentine's Day. Maybe it's finally date night for those of us who are practical and didn't want to celebrate on a Tuesday. That's a joke between me and my cousin now. On a Tuesday. So you didn't want to celebrate on a Tuesday, so you pushed it to Friday night, which is date night usually anyway. And so we are doing this gorgeous Terrazas de los Andes Grand Malbec High Altitude Vineyards 2018, Mendoza, Argentina. It is an Argentinian Malbec. I don't know if you can see the... Yeah. This is a gorgeous Argentinian Malbec that was gifted to me, very kindly gifted to me by my good friend. So shout out to you, Emerald. Thank you so much. It tastes so good. Thank you so much, Emerald. I will have to try and get some more. And I picked this for the Valentine's book night because Argentinian Malbecs is one of my boyfriend's favorite wines. So let's pour a glass. That's kind of a generous pour. I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing. And then this has been open for a while because I first opened it on Friday night. So it's been open for a while. But look at that. Look at how dark and rich and red that is. It's practically black, but it is so gorgeous. Look at that. It is so pretty. And the aroma is very, very bold. Very, the website that I use to track wine describes it as very aromatic. I don't know if that's really how I would describe it, but it's definitely very bold and very strong. But it's also very smooth. So let me give you a little bit of a description from a wine website. It describes it as attractive and complex bouquet that combines aromas of dark fruit with balsamic and aromatic herb notes, delicate aromas of mocha and dark chocolate towards the end, smooth, bold, and fresh in the mouth. Me personally, I think it's the tastes that come to mind are dark fruits and dark berries. Maybe a little bit of cherry, but it would definitely be a little bit of a riper cherry. A little bit bolder in the flavor. Also, it's pretty dry. It's not a sweet wine at all, despite it's still pretty fruity, but it's very dry. Pretty full acidity. What else? I have notes here. A smooth finish. It has a smooth finish. It doesn't leave a bad aftertaste in the mouth the way that some wines do. But it's very heavy in the mouth. It is very in your face, you know. It really wants you to know that. It really wants you to notice it. I had my dad taste some and he was like, this is not easy drinking wine. This is serious drinking wine. And I definitely see that. This isn't something you want to be sipping on like a casual Saturday afternoon, you know. This is a little bit more serious. It's a little bit more heavy. This would go great with a steak. I was telling my boyfriend that we were on a video call the other night and I was like, I really want a steak. And he's like, oh, I'll cook you a steak. And I was like, you're like how many thousand miles away? And he's like, it's the thought that counts. And I was like, thanks. But anyway, this would go great with steak. So the vibe that I'm getting for this is kind of brooding, kind of intense. It's a very brooding, very intense wine. And it demands attention, you know? It's not something that you can, like I said earlier, it's not like an easy drinking wine, not something you'll mindlessly be sipping. It demands that you pay attention to it, you know? And it also gives this slightly obsessive vibe. Like, this would be good for kind of intense, slightly obsessive moments. intense hyper focus, intense moment. Especially when it's drunk on its own, when it's not paired with like a steak or some other kind of food which would compete with the attention. It's definitely very like, you know what I mean? I was joking around and I was saying I should be a little suspicious if someone ordered this for you on a first date. But anyway, so I'm pairing it with 3 books. Now the thing is, this is my first wine and book night, I think, where I have not read any of the 3 books I'm pairing it with, but these are definitely the books that came to mind. All of these have been on my TBR for a while, and these books definitely jumped to mind when I tasted this wine. And these books are all very intense. None of them are romances, but all of them have a romantic relationship at the heart. If you understand what I mean, there's a romantic relationship at the center of the plot, but they are not romances, so that be very clear. They are very intense, slightly obsessive, a little disturbing, I think, or supposedly, based on the descriptions and on the reviews that I've read. So the first is a book that I discovered on BookTube from the book Leo. She highly recommends this book, and that is These Violent Delights by Micah Nemerever. Nemerever, These Violent Delights. So this is dark academia, very psychological, twisty book, and it's about these 2 boys who attend a college together, and they form a very intense, obsessive friendship. She never mentioned that the friendship became romantic or sexual, but some other reviews that I read, said that there was like romantic undertones or sexual undertones to their friendship. So I don't really know, but I'm counting it as being romantic, as being slightly homoerotic, and their friendship is kind of them one-upping each other until they finally reach like a point of no return. And it's definitely a study in human psychology and in how far we would go for other people. And so I think it's so perfect for this kind of wine. The next book is another book that I also discovered on BookTube, this time by Book Roast G, and that is The One by John Mars. So The One by John Mars is kind of a thriller book. I understand it's a thriller book, and the basic premise of the book is that the world has evolved to a point where you can take a DNA test, and based on the results of that DNA test, they will match you with your like DNA soulmate. Like your soulmate, the perfect person you are compatible with based on your DNA. And then, so that's the basic premise of the story. And I was like, oh, damn, I know a lot of people would want this, but at the same time, that sounds hella creepy. So this is kind of a mystery thriller. And I believe the story evolves from problematizing this kind of conceit. And again, it sounds intense and very psychologically twisty, so sounds perfect for this wine. The last is a book that I picked for several reasons. So that book is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. So this word, I will put the word up here, is, as I understand it, pronounced hacienda in the Spanish. However, these things, the word is here, do exist here in the Philippines, and here it is pronounced hacienda. So I'm pronouncing it in the Filipino way, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. And this has been described as Rebecca meets Mexican Gothic. So this takes place around the time of the Mexican Revolution or just after the Mexican Revolution. And there's a woman who marries a Don, one of the aristocrats, the member of the aristocracy. And she marries him not for any real affection, but because she's looking for security, for stability. during a very turbulent period in her country's history. And so she marries him and she moves to his estate, to his hacienda, and they live together. But he's very distant, he's very like aloof, and she starts noticing creepy things going on in the hacienda. And she also notices something weird with her sister-in-law, with the sister of this Don. And there's also a lot of questions about how the first wife of this aristocrat died. So she died under mysterious circumstances, and or like I don't know if it's explicitly said that she died, but like what happened to her. So there are questions about that. And it's supposed to be just very creepy vibe, very eerie. And then she gets a young priest involved who is also like an exorcist or something. And so he's like her only ally and things like that. And so this sounded so creepy, so good. It's just that it's not available in Scribd, otherwise I would have read it already. I'm looking for it. I'm waiting for it to go on sale on Amazon. It sounds so good. It sounds so good. And part of the reason why I'm so intrigued by this is despite this taking place in Mexico during the Mexican Revolution, with some minor tweaks, I can definitely see this kind of story taking place here in modern day Philippines. Haciendas still exist and they are highly controversial. There are large plots of land owned by very wealthy old money families, and agrarian reform is a huge topic here in the Philippines. And so I can definitely see someone marrying into an old family looking for stability, but getting met with a lot of mysteries and creepiness. And it plays into a lot of like cultural psychology here. But it is definitely something I would love to read while sipping this wine. I would also love to discuss all of these books with my dear friend who gifted me this wine. Shout out to you, Emerald. Thank you so much for this wine. I hope you are doing well. I love you and I hope to see you soon. Shout out as well to my boyfriend. Happy Valentine's Day. And I love you as well. And I hope to drink a good wine with you soon. So those are my creepy non-romance books for Valentine's Day wine and book night. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy these recommendations. Have any of you read these books? Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I desperately need to know more about these books. No spoilers though. No spoilers, please. I really want to know. In the meantime, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and cheers!